You probably think Mazda is the brand that plays it safe, the company that still makes you row your own gears while everyone else goes electric. And that's exactly what you were supposed to think, because it just made Tesla and BYD very nervous. Welcome to the best automotive channel on YouTube. This is Atif Cars. Mazda just stood on a stage in Brussels and confirmed a brand new electric SUV called the CX-6e, and here's the number that changes everything. 258 horsepower, a 78 kilowatt-hour battery, and a confirmed range of 484 kilometers on the WLTP cycle. That's not a rumor, that's not a leak, that is Mazda's own official number, stated on record at the world premiere on January 9th. Now here's why that matters. The Tesla Model Y, the car every single electric SUV on Earth is measured against, is rated at roughly 500 kilometers on the same WLTP scale. Mazda just walked in with a car that gets within striking distance of Tesla's benchmark on Mazda's very first attempt at a mainstream electric SUV. Let that sink in for a second, because we are not done. The BYD Sealion 7, the car that's been eating market share across Europe and Australia for the last year, is the CX-6e's real target. And Mazda didn't just match it on paper. In Australia, the CX-6e is confirmed to start at $53,990 before on-road costs. That undercuts the Tesla Model Y by close to $5,000. A brand new electric SUV cheaper than Tesla, almost matching Tesla's range. Mazda just did that. Before we go further, let's rewind, because this launch did not come out of nowhere, and understanding where Mazda is coming from makes this reveal hit a lot harder. A few years ago, Mazda's first real attempt at a mass-market electric vehicle was the MX-30. It was a small electric crossover with quirky rear-hinged doors, and it is widely known in the industry as one of the weakest range figures of any EV sold in Europe at the time. Mazda got heavily criticized for it, and sales never took off the way the company hoped. That's not an insult, that's just public record, and Mazda itself seemed to know it, because everything about the CX-6e reads like a direct answer to that criticism. Bigger battery, real range, confirmed pricing that actually competes. Here's the part that hooked me the moment I read the spec sheet. This car uses a 78 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery, the same LFP chemistry that BYD has been quietly winning the EV war with for years. Lithium iron phosphate doesn't degrade the way older lithium batteries do. It handles daily fast charging without eating years off its life. Mazda, the brand famous for skipping trends, just adopted the exact battery chemistry that the fastest growing EV maker on the planet bet its entire company on. That is not a coincidence. That is Mazda admitting BYD was right. And this is where it gets interesting. The CX-6e is not actually a Mazda engineering project on its own. It comes out of Mazda's partnership with Chongqing Chang'an Automobile in China, the same partnership that already gave us the Mazda 6e sedan last September. And that sedan is not some flop nobody bought. Mazda has confirmed over 7,000 units sold in Europe since launch. Real buyers, real money, real proof that people trust an electric Mazda built on Chinese EV technology. The CX-6e is simply the second car out of that same factory line, and Mazda is scaling it up fast as part of what Mazda itself calls a multi-solution electrification approach, meaning Mazda has openly said it will not force every buyer into the same drivetrain. Petrol, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and now full battery, all sold side by side depending on what a region actually wants.
Let's talk about the way this thing drives, because Mazda did not hand this project entirely over to a partner and walk away. The CX-80e keeps Mazda's Jinwei philosophy, which is Mazda's own term for the driver and the car feeling like one connected unit, borrowed straight from the language Mazda has used to describe the MX-5 for over 30 decades. It's a single rear-wheel drive motor, not all-wheel drive, and that is a deliberate choice. Rear-wheel drive keeps the steering feel sharp and the weight balance close to 50-50. Mazda confirmed the ride and handling were specifically tuned for European roads, not just imported and rebadged with a Mazda badge slapped on top. 0 to 100 km per hour lands at 7.9 seconds, not a drag strip number, but confirmed enough to keep pace with daily traffic and motorway merges without breaking a sweat. Top speed is capped at 185 km per hour, and the car weighs in at around 2,205 kilograms, which is roughly what you'd expect once you account for a battery pack that size sitting under the floor. Now here's a favor I want to ask you. Right now, while this number is still fresh in your head, if Mazda dropping a Tesla rivaling range at a lower price just surprised you the way it surprised me, tap that like button before you keep watching. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to see this before they walk into a dealership and overpay for something worse. Let's get into the design, because Mazda didn't just bolt a battery under an existing body. This is a ground-up design built around a concept Mazda calls future plus soul times modern. In plain English, that means Mazda kept its signature Kodo design language, the sculpted flowing body lines that have made Mazda one of the best-looking mainstream brands on sale, and merged it with genuinely new EV thinking. The front signature lighting is confirmed to be inspired by Mazda's iconic SP concept car, the one that got car enthusiasts online buzzing for months when it was first shown as a concept with no production plans at all. Now, pieces of that concept are actually reaching showrooms. Inside, the cabin follows a Japanese design idea called Ma, which means the beauty of empty space, confirmed straight from Mazda's own design team, not a marketing buzzword I'm making up. And now the number that's actually going to end up in every comparison video for the next 2 years, a 26-inch central touchscreen. Not 12 inches, not 15, 26 inches, floating above the dashboard, wrapped in 256 color ambient lighting. For comparison, the Tesla Model Y screen is 15 inches. Mazda's screen is close to double the size of Tesla's on a car that costs less. On paper, that sounds like Mazda chasing a gimmick. In reality, Mazda paired that massive screen with voice recognition, gesture recognition, and digital side mirrors, all confirmed official features, meaning this isn't screen size for the sake of a spec sheet war. It's a genuinely different approach to how you interact with the car, and Mazda has clearly been paying attention to what younger EV buyers actually want inside the cabin, not just under the hood. Here's something most channels covering this launch are going to skip over completely, and it's the part that matters most if you're not living in America. This car is launching in Europe this summer and in Australia later this year. Mazda has said nothing officially about a North American launch, which means right now European and Australian buyers get access to a Tesla rivaling BYD battery technology electric Mazda that American buyers simply cannot walk into a dealership and order. That's the opposite of how these stories usually go. Usually it's Americans getting the good stuff first, while everyone else waits years for the leftovers. This time, if you're watching this from Europe, the UK or Australia, you are the one with the advantage, not the one missing out.
Charging is where Mazda made sure nobody could call this car impractical. DC fast charging takes the battery from 30 to 80% in around 15 minutes, confirmed by Mazda directly, with some independent testing putting a 10 to 80% charge closer to 24 minutes depending on the charger and conditions. Either way, that's a coffee break, not a lunch stop. For home charging, an 11 kilowatt onboard AC charger handles an overnight top-up without any drama, so most owners will genuinely never need to think about public charging during the week. On safety, Mazda confirmed 9 airbags as standard, along with autonomous emergency braking, lane keeping assistance and blind spot monitoring built in across the entire range, not locked behind an expensive trim you have to upgrade into just to get basic protection. That matters because plenty of rivals still treat full safety suites as a paid option reserved for the top spec car, and Mazda chose not to play that game here. Let's talk ownership, because this is the part buyers actually live with long after the reveal hype fades. Mazda confirmed the CX-6e carries the standard 5-year unlimited kilometer vehicle warranty, plus an 8-year warranty specifically on the high-voltage battery. That battery warranty is the one that should actually calm your nerves if you've ever worried about EV batteries degrading. Mazda is putting real money behind the claim that this LFP pack will still be healthy years down the road. In Australia, the car arrives in 2 grades, GT and the flagship Azami, sold and serviced through roughly 150 dealerships nationwide, and Mazda confirmed the first 1,000 pre-order customers get a free upgrade from GT to Azami, saving around $3,000, which tells you Mazda wants early adopters talking about this car, not just buying it quietly. So here's where I land on this, and I want you to actually pick a side in the comments below, not just type "nice car." Are you in the camp that says Mazda finally built a real Tesla and BYD rival and deserves credit for it? Or are you in the camp that says a rear-wheel drive only single-motor SUV is still playing it safe compared to what BYD and Tesla are doing? Or are you somewhere in the middle, impressed by the price, the screen and the warranty, but waiting to see real-world reliability before you trust it with your own money? Drop your camp in the comments because I read every single one of them. If you're cross-shopping this against a Model Y, a BYD Sealion 7, or even Mazda's own 6e sedan, stick around because that full head-to-head comparison is coming next, and the numbers might surprise you even more than this one did.